Welcome in today. It's good to see everybody. We have, let's see, 3 more people coming in. This is the class covering the Totality of Health meditation practice that I have cultivated. So, and I do go a little bit into about meditation. So even if you do not do this practice, you do your own, you do another, you might find some answers in here that I get many questions about. So go ahead and drop in, where you're from, something neat about you. As I always say, you cannot say there isn't anything because we all have lots of beautiful authenticity aspects within us. And everybody is hopped in on now, so whoever is ready to share anything about themselves, if you have any questions through this, for those who have not been in here before or any of my other classrooms, if you do not mind other people answering them, go ahead and pop it in the group chat. And if you want it to be either privately answered by me or you for sure want to make sure it gets answered, put it in the direct message part to me so I can get that. All right. I would like to do a few little questions really quickly. The first one is, who has ever meditated before? How comfortable do you feel with your meditation on a scale of 1 to 10? And what form of meditation has been your favorite for those of you who have meditated successfully? People call it successfully. I call any type of meditation a success, and we'll cover that later. But if you have that line or goal of something being successful as far as meditation, put on a scale from 1 to 10 on where you feel for that. Beautiful. And let's see, what was the last one? Oh, what has been either the greatest part about your meditating or what has been the most difficult part? I'm going to let you choose how you answer that. If you would like to put both of them on there, you are welcome to. I'm going to give you just a moment to do that. And I'm going to look over the chats a little bit. I'm loving all these answers. And just a reminder, for if you have not been here before, if you are on the live feed, all of the things that we put in the messages is not being recorded. Okay, it's just me. All that they're going to be able to see in here is what I am doing and saying. And yes, we are going to have our we will have our practice session in here of the beginning part of this meditation process. If you would like to stick around to do a full Totality of Health session, if you have things that you're wanting to work on deeper, if there's things that come through this practiced beginning section of the Totality of Health meditation, then I do suggest staying, or if you can't stay, watch the replay later so that you get that full system support for the Totality of Health full session of the day. And yes, always we will do discussion. We will do a discussion right after this class, talking about this class. If there's anything else you would like to talk about, feel free to bring forward. You can come to the discussion as yourself with your name and your camera on, or you can come completely hidden, camera off, and a false name if you prefer. And then, yes, we will have a discussion after the session, the Totality of Health session as well. Okay, I'm gonna grab a drink. So, let's talk a bit about what the body does when it slows down. So when we instantly shut our eyes, I want everybody to do that really quickly. Everybody shut your eyes, and I want you to simply notice how you feel. And open them and notice the difference, and close them and notice the difference. For me, I personally feel when I close my eyes like a full, just kind of like, ooh, and whenever I open them, it kind of rises right back up. If you would like to put in the chat and share how you feel in those differences, opening and closing your eyes, I would love to see. You feel that too? Yeah. So, as we settle in deeper, which we're going to practice, into our eyes being closed, we begin to really feel the natural response that our body holds and has. Sorry, guys. Oh, yeah, I really like these. I don't think that they have like the, I don't know, I guess I do. I like them. I was going to say I don't really like that they have the black tea aspect. But all right. We were talking about the natural response of the body. So as we begin to close our eyes and we close them, let's practice that real quick. Close your eyes and keep them closed. And keep them closed. Are you feeling the natural response of your body softening? Maybe feeling things deeper. Maybe feeling a more relaxed presence. Or are you feeling more of an uncomfortability? I want you to make a note on that right now. If you would like to put it in the chat, you can put it in the chat. But it is something I would like for you to become aware of through this process and kind of keep track of. So our bodies are always processing, regardless if our eyes are shut, if we're sleeping, if we're awake, if we are learning, if we're watching TV, whatever it is, our bodies are always processing. The only time that our bodies cannot process is if our hearts have stopped, and then it still takes a while for our nervous system to completely shut down. So what I have found with this practice is that it is not only life transitioning for me, but it has allowed a restoration of so many levels of my being. Regardless if you do this laying down, standing up, walking, taking a bath, dancing, however you want to do it, stretching, sitting outside, there is no wrong or right way to do it. There's different levels of doing it, and different within each of those different levels, it creates a different type of meditation you experience during this Totality to Health meditation technique. So I have found that all of them are extremely enjoyable, as long as I'm not pushing myself to do it, as long as I'm not forcing myself to do it. Okay, that is the biggest part with this type of meditation, and it's how I live my life. I do not believe in doing things when it comes to nervous system work and pushing through discomfort. Now, there's a difference between pushing through discomfort and welcoming it in, and we will cover that because within this we do welcome the discomfort, but then we have tools to simply and quickly allow it to disperse. Okay, I do not believe in rejecting discomforts, but I do not believe in pushing through them or tearing through them either. So let's talk a bit about a little bit of science stuff. So whenever we are connecting our mind to our bodies, which is what we are doing through this meditation, we begin by beginning how we came into this world, and we end the meditation with how we will go out of this world. So what I mean by that is whenever we are formed in the very beginning within our mother's wombs, we are nothing but nerves. We are nothing but a nervous system. So we begin by connecting to our nervous system first, and we will end it by connecting to our nervous system again. So We do that because within connecting to our nervous system, we then can really get into connecting to our body system. What happens is through our lives and through different things, we become disconnected. Our mind gets overrun by our autonomic nervous system, which is keeping us in this safe state, these different traumatic states of freeze, fawn, flight. I'm sure you've heard of them. If you've been to my classes before, you've definitely heard of them. And that creates a disconnection from our body, and it takes us out of our body to where we will, let's take an exercise example, where like I used to be really terrible with it, meaning I did it way too much. So what I would do is I became addicted to exercise due to the stress and the things I was feeling whenever I would go to work out. I felt that kind of stress. But what I was doing, I was tearing through my body and I was tearing through those resistances. I was ignoring the actual emotions due to my atomic nervous system, and my outlets were either poetry, which was more of a healthy one, obviously, and then exercise, which could also be healthy, but it did become like an addiction for me. And it was because I was not sitting with my emotions. Like I said, I was ripping through them, I was avoiding them, I was running from them. I was in a very flight response. I would drink, I would party, I would anything I could do to work and clean. I would. And I would like to know if anybody else is kind of in that space or has been in that space. If you would like to send that to me individually, or if you would like to put it in the group chat, go ahead and feel free however you would like to do that. And in the private chat to me, just so I can work on those of you who are in the full program of this, I can work on your personalized system a little bit better, okay? So whenever we become disconnected to our body and we come into this meditation and we are doing the reconnection, that's what this first process, this first class is really going to help regain and help your nervous system and body remember how to do that connection naturally. So later on, and eventually, all of that will just flow in with automatically. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, it's definitely been like I said, a fantastic experience. And I didn't know what I was doing at first, and I just through the past decade, just kind of put everything that I've known together and created this beautiful experience for myself and for whoever else would like to utilize it. So if you have been to my Power of You class, then you already know about the nervous system and the endocrine system. And how they work together. So when you do not feel safe, like we were talking about earlier, that atomic nervous system programming comes in and just capsulates everything. So you can become that disconnected between your body and your mind, which means the natural healing restoration process that our bodies are designed to do and be and formulate within is not able to function. And that's what this meditation and if you're in the full Totality of Health program, you've already covered a lot of this, but like all the different parts of the Totality of Health, of what I call it, how it all ties in together, and really helps fully reprogram your body into its natural healing ability within regulation of the nervous system. So when thoughts pop up during our meditation, it is a good indication because thoughts are different from when we are in meditation versus when we are walking around and awake and aware. So thoughts in meditation are basically parts of us that are, I teach it a little bit differently than some, but this is how I see it and what I've gained through my experiences. So thoughts are either stressors that are ready to be released and they are releasing, or they are stressors and thoughts that are needing more attention that you can kind of communicate with in a quick meditation, which we will cover in our practice with this. Or they are things that need more integration and really helped working through. Okay, so I see it as there's 3 levels and 3 tiers within what thoughts mean for our during our meditation. Now, what thoughts mean during our waking time, we know what those are. Those are stressors, those are to-do lists, those are what am I feeling? They're being consumed with all sorts of aspects within us. And in the Power of You, we go into more of that inside that classroom. But for a quick overview, that's what it is. And thoughts can also help connect us within what I call our navigational system program. If you want to know more about that, that is in my Totality of Health session information classroom. But whenever we have a thought that comes through in meditation, the reason I say like do not throw it away, and I have through here like what we will do with those whenever they arise. We can then share that and move forward. So when I mean share it, we can share it with what it needs and it can disperse, or we can go into it more. If it disperses, or when it disperses, we will then maybe hear another thought, and thoughts can also be sensations. They don't have to be words running through your head, but another thought, another sensation. We can travel there into our body and we can tune in there and see what's occurring there. And I call that navigating. Now, if anybody would like to know about how I created this or anything like that, I will share that with you. I will let you guys take a vote, and I will share that with you either in the discussion, if not a lot of people want to know, and if a lot of people do, I will do that before we hop off of here. All right, so before we go into the practice part of our meditation, let's cover a little bit more. I want you to never analyze anything whenever you are in meditation, okay? I want you to either ask questions, file it, and we're going to cover all of this in more detail here in a minute, or I want you to do nothing else, all right? And if it's overwhelming and too much for you, you can just use the word, your anchor word, which we'll cover here in a bit, or you can use the word safe or I am safe, okay? When we bring our anchor word into our process, whenever we are meditating, that is called an active thought. Your anchor word does exactly what it sounds like it does. It keeps you anchored into yourself. So if something becomes overwhelmed, scary, something you don't want to look at or deal with at this moment, then of course the anchor word kind of takes you out of that and allows you to continue on kind of putting like a capsule over that experience and that memory for that moment, whatever is occurring, allowing that to continue to work on how it needs to, and allows you to go deeper, allows you to go anywhere else you need to go, or allows you to come out and sorry, I guess my internet's not working very good today. Good thing I have different internet on this, right? Okay. So, all right. Oh, and that's another thing I wanted to hit on. Thank you for asking that question. So, whenever I say you don't want to force. So if there comes something and it feels like it's forced, or it feels like it's, again, that forceful kind of not peaceful sensation or energy or memory, yes, that's whenever you want to use your anchor point, your anchor word for your anchor point. And your anchor point, like I said, we will, in your anchor word we will cover more here in a moment. So when the mind chooses a thought, it is often connected to an area or design within inside of your body that is that is ready to be dissolved, like I had said. And this can be in any form of stressor. It could be a toxin, it could be a experience, it could be an emotion, it could be something that maybe has never even happened, but like maybe something was in your subconscious of some point of whatever time, and it's something that was kind of lingering and it's ready to disperse. All right. So it's not really something that we need to notice a whole lot on. And like I said, we'll go through more of this here later on. But if it is something that continues on and it's not dissolving, that is an indication that there's a signal in the body that is needing to be noticed more. And I know that I'm repeating myself, but I want this to be something that comes to you instantly instead of a worry. Now, thoughts during a meditation are the most amazing part of your meditation due to that. So if you have old thoughts clearing, that makes room for new thought forms to come. And once you work through these layers of these thought forms of limiting beliefs and different traumas and different things like that, then you can make room and have new beautiful things form. Apologies, I worked outside and I'm a little bit dehydrated. So, yes, that's where I was coming to next, actually. So the overthinking happens in meditation only when we are not using our anchor word or using our tools that we'll cover more so here in a bit, as well as caused from due to much overthinking and too much overwhelm in your daily life. So through the process of doing this, each time you'll have less and less and less in those through your meditation experience in totality of health. Because whenever you're doing this, and if you're using the whole entire system of totality of health, especially, you'll notice that goes through very, very in an easier network when you're awake, versus you having all of these hindering, I got to, oh my gosh, I can't believe, all of those running thoughts. So let's get to some of the tools that we will use during this process. So let's talk about when you are awake. Again, that thought, worry, and that emotion comes forward. That may still happen during your meditation, but if you are awake, my goodness. But if you are awake and it's something that is just driving you mad, or it's something that's reoccurring, or it's something that you don't have time for and you need to do something else, I want you to get in the practice of saying, come to me in my meditation. Come to me in my meditation. Okay? Just come to me in my meditation. Sorry guys, I accidentally closed out of the chat room. Let me get that loaded back up so I can see everybody. Okay. This helps you create a space, and if you would like to design your safe space, you can do that as well. If you've been to a few of my other like expressive emotions classes, you know how to design your safe space. If you do not and you want to, you are free to come to those, watch the videos of those, however. But this helps you tell that space that keeps coming, those recurrent thought forms, those worries, those things, that you hear it and that you are not ignoring it, and that you will come back to it exactly when you are meant to come back to it. But right now is not the right time. that you acknowledge that it needs attention, that you understand that it is something that you do need to gain more awareness on, or that you do need to bring more attention to, and maybe more nourishment, or maybe it's something that you need to change in your life, or maybe it's something that is just ready to be released, and right now in that moment you just don't have the time for that. Okay, so that brings us into, that allows the trusting of your communication to yourself to occur in your consciousness, which helps you regulate your nervous system, which also helps you reform more room within your consciousness. All right, if you've been to my Power of You class, you understand what I'm talking about. If you want to know more about what I'm talking about and the 10% of our consciousness, or the 10 folders as I call it, you can go to that classroom. Let's cover frequencies really, really quickly, and sound and self-sound. My goodness. So, self-sound is exactly what it sounds like. It is the sounds that you make. So if you if you speak, if you sing, if you shout, those are all self-sounds. A sound is just any sound, and a frequency is everything. So because frequencies make up everything, sound and self-sound come in to also assist us within our process of healing, regenerating, working, whatever it might be. Frequencies of sound, so like playing sound frequencies, using like instruments, humming, singing, all of those things do help us tremendously. So when you hear something over and over again, so whenever you hear something over and over again, that is a signal of something that you really need to pay attention to, okay? Especially meditation, especially if the different tools aren't working to get it to disperse. And what I kept hearing in my meditations for years and years and years was called self-sound, and it took me a while to figure out what that meant. So self-sound and self-sound is, after all of those years of trial and explorations and things, I finally understood it as, it is a sound that I need in that exact moment from myself. So if I'm meditating, if I'm working, if I'm going to the grocery store, whatever it might be, if I feel something, I simply just let out a sound, and I let it be whatever it might be. All right. And if I'm in a place and I can't make that sound, I will make the sound in my head. All right. There's no right or wrong way, and there's no perfect pitch or anything like that. Now, if I am attuning my nervous system, as I call it, which comes further into this meditation practice, not this beginning part, then I will do things in a different way until things become attuned with the sounds that I'm self-sounding. But since everything is frequencies, you can go to my frequency classroom if you are not familiar with frequencies, to learn more about them, and I do suggest. But frequencies are everything within us. So our nervous system works on frequencies. Our everything, absolutely everything works on frequencies, and our emotions are nothing but frequencies. And so we have different storage centers in our body that hold different frequency ranges, which means we have different memories and emotions in different parts of our system, which is our endocrine system and nervous system put together, as well as our full body, as emotions are stored within us. Like our fascia is a great example of what that means. And if you aren't familiar with that, there is a classroom, I believe I called it Under Our Skin, or Under Your Skin, and it's talking about the fascia and the importance of understanding it. So this self-sound is a very, very simple aspect. It is simply just creating a sound. It is not judging it. It's not analyzing it. It's not making it perfect. It's not making it pretty. It's not making it make sense. It's not doing anything other than making a sound. So real quickly, I want you to practice. On the count of 3, I just want you to make whatever sound you want. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Ah. Again. 1, 2, 3. Ah. 1, 2, 3. Ah. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. And the more you do it, the faster they'll kind of start coming. What I want you to do now is to make that sound. And as you're making that sound, I want you to notice in your body where you're feeling it. All right. This is the second process of mapping the nervous system with your sound to your body. Okay. And I would like you to type in the chat where everybody can see it where you're feeling the sound. Okay. And then on your paper, your notes, I would like for you to put first sound, felt, location, and then a number of 0 to 20. 0 being, well, won't be 0 yet if you're feeling it, because that would be completely neutraled out. But neutral is 0, and then all the way up to 20 is like the worst pain, or like a very, very, the worst discomfort that you can imagine or that you have experienced. Okay. When you are done with that, put your answers in the chat so I know you're done. Yeah, and I want you to make whatever crazy sound. I'm not going to go too crazy because I don't want to hurt you guys' ears. But I mean, like, you can let out, like, screams, or a lot of people do, like, little, like, child or baby noises, depending on, you know, different states of what their atomic nervous system is in, will kind of provide what kind of comes out. But I want you to get silly with it. I want you to have fun with it at the same time. See a lot of people in the gut. That is very, very common. Behind the knee. I'm not going to go into details, but I'm just going to ask you, are you aware of when we have hard parts of our body with soft parts on the opposite side? Does anybody know before I say anything? I just want to see if anybody knows what that means. Armor, what we're protecting. Okay. I love seeing everybody's. We have 2 more people. I'm just going to do a little bit of review while you guys are typing, because I see everybody's typing right now. And so the nervous system, reminder, is the first and final layer that we will focus on within our meditation. And whenever we do this again because it is the first part of you and it is the last part of you within your physical experience. It is the first system that begins in your what? Yes, in your fetus phase. And it is the final system that completes your experience here. The nervous system continues to process until your soul leaves your physical body. And the soul and the nervous system leave the physical experience after your heart even stops, as we have said before. The nervous system is the bridge and the connection point that helps you communicate between your physical body, your emotions, your thoughts, your experiences, and all parts of you. This is why sound and frequency and self-sound can become such a powerful tool within your meditation, because you're providing different neural pathways back into your proper connection. And when I say proper connection, I mean the way that you were designed originally before the trauma started causing the disconnections. So let's talk a bit about our soul, our energy, and frequency with our nervous system. So I want you to understand, this is my personal understanding, and how I can best describe it is that I see of my soul as it travels through my nervous system. And so I kind of see my nervous system and my soul as a one unit. You can take it as you want and create your own imagery or however you want to see it. But to me, the nervous system is our energetic communicating system within the physical body. So my soul, I believe, is here to experience and to learn and to be, and it is able to transform and flow within my body to experience all of these things all at one time. Now, I do believe, the soul is in what is called like the solar plexus, which also I wanted to talk about. The chakra system and the endocrine system is the same thing, just different terminologies for different parts of the world. But I believe that it can travel and it can be, and that's how I believe, like, our soul can tell us, like, hey, I want to be over here, I want to look into this a little bit more, I want to be over here and look into this situation a little bit more, or wait, hold on, why are we feeling this situation inside of our gut? So that is my current understanding, and due to the experiences that I've had in my meditations and journeys and things like that, as well as all sorts of different neuroscience studies, and kind of putting them kind of together how I view things. Okay, I'm not saying I'm correct. I'm just saying that's how I'm sharing it with you. But I do believe having some sort of connection with your nervous system and having some sort of basic understanding within you, within your connection to it, in your emotional system, is very important for any type of healing, especially any type of meditation, but especially for the totality of health, due to how inclusive it is with everything. And again, I do not know everything. I'm always learning, and I am the first to say I know nothing, because I believe the more we learn, the less we know. And I believe we're all here just to share what we do know and to help one another gain and gain and gain and grow and go and grow. Now, really quickly, I mentioned baths with this meditation. That will include your detoxing, as well as what I call like goddess baths or God's baths, or your spirit baths, your soul baths, whatever you want to call it. But I choose to call it the fit for you. The name doesn't really matter. It is the experience that you allow yourself to have while you're having it. The baths, especially if you're able to float while you're doing these meditations with the sounds and all of that stuff, the frequencies playing, it is a full, thorough process. And again, it is very powerful. Even if we play frequencies, which I do suggest doing in your home, cover more of that in a different thing. But our water is programmed by frequencies, and our body is made up by how much water? Yeah. So we are playing, and that was one of the biggest steps I made, and one of the very biggest, strongest ones I made, was switching my music from listening to things that I used to listen to and grew up listening to, into new sounds. Like, we'll use Sam Garrett as an example, and Rising Appalachia, stuff like that. And then like just frequencies, or like people who make music with affirmations, subliminals, things like that. Huge tool doing that every single day. Whenever we are sitting with different frequencies, that means we are sitting with different desires and needs and intentions, okay? And it's important for you as a human within your wakefulness to kind of work through your intentions. And if you do not know it, I started this journey out not knowing my intentions. I didn't know my desires. I just knew that things weren't going well and something needed to change. So I began simply by going into this meditation practice that I'm about to provide with you, and just tuning into how I felt, leaving all the words completely out. And when I say by felt, I mean in my body, how my body was responding when I would tune in to listen to it. For example, if you play a certain frequency around your drinking water, you're creating a relationship between your sound and your intention, and you can even like speak into your water. Now it sounds silly, but you can speak into your water just like you speak to plants, And we've all seen the science experiments. If you haven't, go look at them. They're pretty cool. But when we speak into our water, we speak into ourselves, we speak into our existence. When we play frequencies and we, what I call charge our water, we can then start remembering the process of our natural rhythm and our natural being so that things can flow more easily within our nervous system, to help us on every system and being that we can be in. All right, let's see. Does anybody have any questions yet? Okay, we will continue then. So when we begin, we are going to begin by playing healing frequencies first. All right, we are going to connect with our healing frequency first. And then as our healing frequency is playing, we're going to then create our anchor word. And our anchor word is any word that you want to use. I'm going to use the word flower through our practice today. You can use whatever anchor word you want. And your anchor word, again, is like a safe word, okay? So real quickly, I would like you to do that. Go ahead and work on your anchor word. And I would like everybody to put done in the chat whenever you get your anchor word. And let's see. Write it down. And I have a note. I need to get back to somebody immediately after class. I'm writing their name down. I also want to go over if you feel like you need to move, if you feel like you want to sit up. We are going to start by laying down. If you feel like you want to get up and dance, if you stomp your feet, whatever you want to do some push-ups, whatever it is you feel like you might want to do, I want you to do it through this meditation process, okay? And if you are more interested in my journey and how I created all of this, feel free to grab the PDF on the classroom. All right, we're waiting for a few more people. I'm going to use the word flower. And I want to cover, because I see a question here that I accidentally skipped over earlier. I didn't see it. I apologize. But yes, the Totality Health System, it is not something that you complete. Yeah, you won't ever complete it because it's something that you will use every single day for the rest of your life. It is a system to create health and wellness, to make your life easier, to make your life more enjoyable. And that is something that we have to make our decision on every fraction of a second of every single day, because it only takes us a fraction of a second to make a decision. And if we are not using our practices, then we are going to resort to doing what our autonomic nervous system wants us to do, where we feel safe, where we feel comfortable, where we are staying in a disconnected state. Yeah. All right, looks like everybody is done now with their anchor word. Real quick, I would like for you to now tune into your body, and just on a scale of 0 to 20, again, 0 being completely okay, and then 20 being like the max of what you could experience as a discomfort. I want you to just do a quick full body scan, and in your body and your emotions, how you're feeling, just provide a number and just write that down. And yes, yeah, I offer the weekly sessions online, video as well for the recordings. And yes, I help teach you through how to utilize this and do it yourself. And just remember that we do, and our nervous system does learn through repetition. Okay, that's why I repeat myself a lot in these classes. It's why we kind of redo like repetitive systems and work. It's why I provide you the scripts to the meditations, as well as the recording of the ones that I do, that you can make it yourself. You can change it and shift it in your own recordings. And I do really suggest doing your own recordings, especially if it's for like things that you're having a little bit of trouble navigating through, because your own voice is, if you've been in the Power of You class, you know it's your self sound is very, very important for your nervous system. So, whenever we are able to guide and settle into the meditation, a very deep one, and it allows us to function through the connection and to the release at the same time. That's why whenever we go through things where it's not allowing us to disperse it when we're meeting it within meditation, that's when we know that it is important and we need to pay more attention to. That's why the meditation is occurring. Yeah. And then being able to learn this process in layers, I feel, is very important. So you don't get overwhelmed and you don't miss steps, you don't skip steps. Because the listening, the reconnecting, the what I call clearing or transitioning, or and then the reprogramming, and then the settling. All of it is, and there's many different layers for all of it, and many different tools. And so, and for the whole process of meditation, and the full process of this meditation is the full totality of health session. Okay, and if you hop in there, you'll see that is very, very large and very, very big. Now, if you have the PDF files for this classroom, you will see exactly how to map out your own meditation and why. So I even have links to like my favorite YouTube play frequencies to go with this. All right, so everybody has their numbers written down. You have your things. Now I want you to think of, let's see, think of a experience that you have experienced in your life that has been uncomfortable. All right. Nothing extremely traumatic. If you it doesn't have to be anything like that, but something that's been uncomfortable. Like maybe if you have somebody in your life and you don't feel fully comfortable or confident around them. I want you to simply give that a sentence, a title, a word, a color. It can be a number, anything over 20. So 21 to whatever number you can provide it a number. Just don't give it any details, okay? All right. Now, let's cover really quickly. Reminder, your safe word. I want you to repeat your safe word in your head 10 times right now. I want you to make another note that you will use this if you feel agitated, unsafe, if you feel bored, if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel uneasy, if you feel sick, if you feel distraught, if you feel anything anything that is too uncomfortable, especially if it is a traumatic memory that is trying to arise. You can use your safe word if you would like, if the questions and the tools that we will be using through the meditation are not working, okay? All right, we are going to practice our breath right now before we go into the meditation. So I want everybody to place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Okay. I want you to breathe into your belly and exhale. Okay, see how my hand's out and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now I want you to practice breathing in with the intention of breathing in through your heart, down into your belly, holding it into your belly, and then exhaling it out of your belly, okay? So breathe in to your belly, but through your heart, holding it in your belly, and exhaling it out of your belly. Very good. One more time. Hold, exhale out of the belly. And one more time, breathing in through the heart and into the belly and out of the belly. All right, now we're going to do that same process in through the heart, down to the belly, holding it in the belly, but now we're going to bring it back up into our heart and exhale it out of our heart, okay? Again, breathing it into the heart, down into the belly, holding it in the belly and pushing it up into our heart and exhaling it out of the heart. All right. Does anybody need any more practice with that? And yeah, I'm all swollen. I was outside yesterday. It's very hot here in Florida, like over 100 degrees, like for 8 hours doing yard work. Anybody need any more practice with the breathing? That is how we are going to begin our meditation. Okay, and it is how I do suggest nourishing the things that come through that need more attention. Some tools that I do suggest having by is something like I want you to be very comfortable when we start. So if you can go to your bed or if you have a yoga mat and a pillow, props, whatever it is, have a blanket and have something to cover your eyes that is somewhat weighted or heavy, something more than just like a very thin sheet. And I want you to remind yourself that your thoughts are welcomed. All right? Do not try to stop them. Do not try to push them away. Do not judge them. Simply ask, all right? And I want you to write this down, okay? Write it down on your paper. The first thing you're going to ask when a thought comes up is this for me? If it is not for you, it will completely naturally fade away without you doing anything. If it does not fade away naturally, if it does not dissolve naturally, then you're going to ask, is this for my highest good now? If it is not for your highest good now, then say, I want you to move into this is where your system word comes from. I use the word consciousness folders, one of my 10 folders, okay? Whatever you choose for that. And then it'll instantly just get stored away in the proper space that it needs to be. And then if it still comes away, or if it still doesn't go away, say okay, and then you can begin to ask it questions. Ask it, what are you needing from me? What do I need to know more of? This is if you're wanting to go into it. All right, this is where that safe word comes handy. If you get to a point where it's not comfortable or it's causing you discomfort on a massive level where you're stressing you out and you're not in your deep state of connection and you feel yourself kind of becoming disconnected, that's when you use your safe word. Okay, for me, I'm going to use the word flower. And I'm saying that because I will use it as an example through our meditation. This is the practice. But I want you to use your safe word, your anchor word, versus mine if you would prefer. And if you want to know more about the consciousness folders I'm talking about, again, that is in my Power of You class. And then whenever you go into those lingering thoughts that aren't going into the folders, that aren't dispersing on their own, when you go into asking those questions, really gain in your being, in your fullness, a deep motherly feel, a deep motherly nourishment when you go in to ask those questions and you go into hold those. And that's where that big, deep belly breath comes in, is when that lots of nourishing and love and acceptance and non-judgment comes in. So reminder, breathing in where you feel and what you feel and breathing out of that will help you so much. And whenever you release through your exhale, when you're breathing into those spots, really pay attention to what you're feeling. The pressure, the warmth, the coldness, the tinglies, the vibrations, the emotions you might feel. And if you feel you need to laugh or cry or scream or whatever it might be, do. And if you're in a space where you cannot scream, silent screams are wonderful, and screaming into a pillow is absolutely wonderful. And again, when something comes up and it comes up again, say you've already asked to go to the folder, you've already used your safe word and it comes up, ask it, are you for me now? And then see what happens. Because sometimes when things come back like that, it's because different parts of us have cleared that needed to be cleared. So maybe now that aspect is ready for you to enter it in a very safe space and way. Are you for me now? If something comes back that you have already tried to disperse, or it didn't disperse, or it didn't go into the folder, and if it comes back, or the safe word or the anchor word didn't work. When something is for you, I want you to know that it doesn't mean that something is wrong. It simply just means that something is needing to be communicated. Something is needing to be provided, something that a part of you didn't have. And it's typically a inner child version of you. And what I do is I take the visualization of that situation that continues to come, and I allow myself to see it as a newborn baby. I see it as myself as a newborn baby. All right. And I'll walk you through all of that through the meditation. But it's very important to, again, bring into those states when you're feeling in type of intensity, especially, or things that are coming back and needing your attention, to really provide that deep, nourishing, motherly love and presence. And we will be integrating the father protection into it as well. But whenever we're going in to meet it, we need the nourishing aspect. After your meditation, I do want you to, I want you to take about 10 minutes. I'm going to stop for about 10 minutes and pause before we hop back on to do the meditation. I want you to go into your YouTube, okay? I want you to have your music ready, because I want for anybody who is ready to go further to be able to go further, all right? Once this meditation ends, then you can have another sound frequency ready and will play instantly after we are done with this, all right? So we're all going to start on the same frequency. I want you to play it as we are on, all right? So everybody's microphone will be turned off besides mine. And I'm going to send those to you now. I want you to put these two frequencies in a playlist on your YouTube. So all those are now sent in your chat. So I want you to put those in order. The first one first, the second one second. All right. We are going to start the first one where we have about 20 minutes left before it ends. And then we were going to flow into the second one. okay? So go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to pause this and we will hop into our meditation practice next. If you have any questions that are not already in the private chat that you need to get answered, please do that now before I pause this, because it will put an end to that. Yes, I'm excited too. I'm glad you guys are here. And I really hope you enjoy it. It has really been... Oh, and I do want to hit on when we come out of our meditation, in case you do choose to what I call float and flow after we are done and after I am done guiding you through this, to come out of the meditation, I want you to write this down. So you're going to use your anchor word. Whenever you are ready to, whenever you feel like, and you'll know, okay, you'll know when you're ready to be done with your meditation. It'll just be a natural awareness, a natural presence that will occur. You are going to repeat your anchor word intentionally for, give yourself about 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, however, and then allow that anchor word to stop intentionally. And if you can stop the intentional of it before, that's even better. Because as long as it's kind of playing and you're able to kind of tune into it, that's going to help you come back into your body a little bit more. Whenever you are not in your body, but where you can kind of start letting things that you haven't had a chance to kind of navigate to flow out. Because you're focusing on your anchor point while the other thoughts and things are there and they're flowing out and they're dissolving while you're focusing on anchor point and you're holding steady, okay? So then give yourself about 10 more minutes before coming out of your meditation to not focus on the word. If you had been like kind of intentionally putting your word in there, give yourself about 10 more minutes, 5 to 10 more minutes of not doing that, and then where it's just kind of there in the background and you're kind of coming more into your body. And then give yourself about 5 more minutes to just feel into your body, massaging your body, squeezing your body. You can do taps, whatever it might be, before you open your eyes, okay? Unless you're already up and moving around, but if you've been laying there the whole time, that's how it is best to come out. All right, I'm going to hit pause, and we will meet here in about 10 more minutes, okay?